welcome to Off the Record Live. I am Joe Vito with American Songwriter, and today we are in Starstruck Entertainment on Nashville's legendary Music Row with Struggle Jennings. How you doing, Struggle?
I'm incredible, man.
Hell yeah. I'm so excited to have you on the show today. Folks, if you at home don't know Struggle's story, we're going to be telling part of it today. You're going to get to hear some of his music. We're going to be talking all about your incredible records that you put out. You put out a lot of records.
Yeah.
You're a very
we're
highly prolific artist, but you make incredible hip-hop music, rap music that speaks to really important things and does it all with a spirit of uplifting and inspiration that's grounded in real world reality.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful, and it's so you can't find anything else like it. And so if you're watching, you're in for a great treat today. And we're also going to be answering fan questions, audience questions, coming into chat live. Catherine, our moderator, is here. We figured out this morning how to name the different cameras. Folks, we have a cat cam that will bring Catherine directly into you, and she will ask your question live, on air, and you'll get to hear the answer if you stay paying attention. And so, keep that in mind while we go throughout this entire show. But first, before we even dive in to the icy deep waters of conversation, we're gonna break the ice.
Oh, God.
With some little fun questions for Struggle here. I'm gonna start at the beginning of your day, Struggle. What time do you get up? What's your morning routine like?
9 a.m.
9 a.m.
Straight to the gym. Get my day started.
Oh, that's a great way to start a day.
Yeah.
You get that. It's a physical sensation. When you can exercise in the morning, you get all that blood pumping.
Oh, yeah. No, it keeps me grounded.
Absolutely. What time of the day are you most productive?
I'd say middle of the day or late night, both.
Hell yeah.
I stay working all day, but we're usually in the studio by noon, 1 o'clock. And, you hit that up and then that down slot about 5, 6, ready to take a nap. And then
you go back up.
Yeah.
Struggle's productive twice a day, which is
Twice a
amazing. Maybe that's why you're making so many records.
Yeah.
Do you drink coffee? How do you take it?
Sometimes I'm definitely a caffeine addict. I drink way too much caffeine a day.
What's your preferred vehicle for caffeine?
I like the Bangs and the Reigns, the energy drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Coffee's definitely necessary. Coffee and tequila.
Coffee and tequila, that's a good way to take coffee. Calling or texting?
Texting.
Texting. What kind of texter are you? Do you use emojis?
Yeah, I do use emojis.
Hell yeah.
If I like you.
If you, okay, that's an
If I
important
like
distinction.
I send some emojis.
What's your preferred emoji? What's the most used in there for you?
I don't know if we can talk about that.
Take notes at home, folks.
Most people that I do converse with every day, it's probably the crying, laughing face.
Oh yeah, it's a great one.
That's probably the main one I use.
It's expressive.
Yeah.
It helps give the voice of the text. It's a helpful language tool.
Dude, my grandma, she's 78.
Oh yeah?
And my grandma Jessi, and she uses 30 emojis every text.
No
Which
way!
is crazy.
That's amazing.
78.
That's an incredible fact.
Yeah.
But does she just use any of them, all of them?
Yeah, all of them.
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Kudos. That's the way to live a life. Okay. What's your preferred, if you were going to just a deli, what's your sandwich of choice? Do you have a preferred sandwich?
Oh man, it depends on the mood. The sandwich is special.
It is.
It is whatever the mood goes for. Sometimes I want a Philly cheesesteak. Sometimes I'm feeling healthy. I just want some turkey. Sometimes I'm feeling spicy. I want an Italian BMT. Ooh. A lot of pepperoni and salami.
Oh yeah, there's a whole language of sandwiches.
Definitely.
Expression of different lanes of life.
It's like music. Sandwiches are like music. There's different ones for different moods for sure.
That's the best answer to that question I've ever heard. I'm gonna go home, folks. I'm gonna think about this for a while. Whole sandwich life.
If you're going to sandwich, you gotta do it right.
Okay, if you could instantly become an expert in any subject or even a skill, what would it be?
Well, I've got 4 daughters, so understanding women probably.
It'd be really helpful, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, and trust me, they've been trying for hundreds of years.
Yeah, no, it's the world's biggest mystery.
If you were a baseball player, what would your walk-on song be?
Right now, Cries of the Crusaders.
That's
That's
good.
just like my battle cry right now.
That actually, honestly, would be my answer as well. It's really good.
Yeah. That's my anthem right now.
When I wrote this down, I was like playing this out. I was like, that's kind of a silly question to ask him because I feel like it's gotta be like one of his songs. Not
Right
even
now.
because of it's just so the music's so inspiring, it's so
Yeah.
uplifting, it's so powerful in that regard. Wow. If you had a time machine, would you travel to the future or the past?
Oh, the past.
You go to the past? What part of the past?
Probably like the either the 30s, that old mob era, or like I don't know, the 50s were cool, the diners, and
Oh yeah.
I love 50s music, or to the Wild Wild West.
Oh, that would be cool. Oh,
Yeah. So many different areas that I'd love to travel to.
hell yeah. That'd be awesome. I would really personally pay a lot of money to see Struggle Jennings in the Wild West.
Oh,
It's
man.
kinda like even a movie would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
What?
I've got to do it a couple times in like music videos, like
Oh, do
reenacting.
like the whole the
yeah,
outlaw.
Adam Calhoun's Tombstone
Oh,
was like a blast. You know, like really getting to play that role.
Oh yeah.
And if you go back and look at any of them, I'm cold with that 6-shooter. I can spin it.
So you're ready. You're ready to go.
Yeah, that was me when I was a kid. I was always playing Billy the Kid. You know, I was
Oh,
having little
yeah.
6 guns on, running around.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, yeah, that's such a powerful part of the American identity even. I mean, I feel like, those stories and that legacy of that culture in our country is still so prevalent in everything we do as Americans. It really kind of gave us a big part of our identity,
no, for
which is
sure.
such a cool thing. Yeah, I'm from Phoenix, Arizona, so I get real nerdy about the West kind of stuff.
Yeah,
It really
me too.
speaks
I mean,
to me.
you see me. I'm.
Yeah, I know. You got to the turbos. I was like, oh gosh, that's like.
We
my
just
goal.
got these new pieces when we were in Albuquerque.
Oh yeah.
There's a guy out there named Chimney that is amazing jeweler.
Oh hell yeah, that's a great name for a jeweler too, Chimney.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, when you're on the road, what's like your favorite food to eat on the road? Let's see what you. Oh, no.
The food on the road is terrible. I literally gained 20 pounds. I drink a bottle of tequila a night. We end up eating Whataburger or tacos from every taco truck we bump into.
Oh, there you go.
Pizza, like I'll meal prep or I'll eat healthy all during the day, and then at night it goes to shit
Just shit.
every
man.
time.
Hey, slippery living when you get in
Yeah.
situations like that. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Get the food, and it tastes good. First, music.
Hold up, I gotta go back to the last question
Okay, yeah, hell yeah.
because I like when I'm on the road, I like to eat regional.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
like
good.
when we're up in New England, I just had the best seafood I'd ever had. Like when you're in Texas or New Mexico, you want the real authentic Mexican. So, I like to eat regional. That's like
Yeah.
my favorite part about being on the road is eating stuff from that area.
Totally. Well, in that regard, do you feel like I feel like touring has got to be such an incredible way to really, truly know the country and
Oh,
go
for
to
sure.
different parts.
Yeah.
Because like if you're
for
just
sure.
traveling, you're gonna go to like a city or you're gonna go and see like the tourist
Yeah.
stuff there or whatever, or your friends or whatever. But if you're touring, like you're really going in and being like, all right,
yeah.
where do I eat here? What's the local food? And you
Yeah.
get to know it in that different
Get
kind
that
of way.
local beef when you're in Omaha, local steak. But like I
Yeah.
said, when we were in New England, eating scallops and oysters that were being pulled out of the water as we were eating them. Like,
All right. Hell yeah. That's amazing. Okay. All right. What was the first music you ever bought with like your own money?
it was NWA. It was on a cassette tape. I remember the first time I ever saw a CD was Dr. Dre's The Chronic.
Hell yeah.
I bought that with my own money. I remember, I don't remember what the store was back then that we went to buy our music from. Like Cat's Music or something. That was called Cat's Music. Yeah, so it's definitely rap.
Hell yeah. Well, we're going to get into that in
I
a
had
second.
to hide the NWA tape. I bought it and had to hide it in my closet from my mom. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
I was like 8.
But you had to get it.
Yeah.
And it did its job, too, in terms
Yeah.
of giving you that foundation
Yeah,
and giving
for
you
sure.
that outlet. Oh, my gosh. Well, similar question. When was your first concert? And what was it?
First time I ever performed.
I'm curious what the first time you performed, the first time you went to as
concert I
well.
ever went to.
Yeah. Well, now I'm curious about both. And got the answer.
Well, the first concert, of course, I ever went to was my grandpa Waylon, because my mom sang backup for a long time, so I'd get to stand backstage. But golly, you would ask that. We're still in icebreakers, aren't we?
Yes.
So the first concert that I ever went to, that like my mom took me to, was New Kids on the Block.
Oh yeah, that's epic.
I remember I bought the big peace chain necklace that Donnie Wahlberg wore.
Yeah. Wow.
It was first concert that my mom took me to is like, you know.
I would love to see you with a chain necklace. That'd be great. A little young struggle.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, we made it through the icebreakers.
Okay.
We are now plunging into the icy depths of conversation. But first, we're going to throw it to the cat cam because we got some questions coming in from chat.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of fans in the chat, and they have a lot of questions. They also have some pretty good comments, too. But OG Bobby Johnson 71 wants to know
One of my favorite movies, that name's from, South Central. OG Bobby Johnson, shots out.
They want to know, who is your favorite rapper outside of yourself?
Current or ever.
I think just ever.
My favorite rapper ever was Tupac, for sure, 100%. He literally raised me. I would say right now it's really tough, but probably Meek Mill is one of my favorites.
Oh yeah, good answers. I'm sure we've got more coming in from chat.
We do. So we have another one from KS Rebel Man, who wants to know, what is your favorite meal?
My favorite meal? Probably a good 16-ounce Delmonico ribeye. Throw a lobster tail on the side of it.
Oh, surf and turf.
Yeah, for sure. Besides that, sushi is like my addiction. I eat sushi every day.
Oh yeah. What's like your go-to? Are you like a nigiri or like a roll?
Oh, I do sashimi. I'll do nigiri. Yeah. I'll do the rolls. Anybody that goes to eat with me knows that I order like 6 things off the menu. Especially if it's a new restaurant, that way I can try each thing. Because I don't want to go get one thing, it wasn't good, and then I judge that restaurant on one thing.
Oh yeah.
So I just order it all.
I enjoy that philosophy and I agree with it.
Yeah.
Try it out. Get a sampler. Oh yeah. I'm sure we got even more.
We do have more questions. I do want to shout out a few viewers. Trey Tex Bad Boys and John Lowry 1979 said, "Your music saved our lives. Thank you."
Thank you. And I tell people every night when they tell me that, when I'm on tour and doing meet and greets, like, it's the same for me. You know, like hearing people say that gives me that level of responsibility, and it gives me a purpose to continue to get up every day and push and, you know, not slide back into my old ways and let them all down. So you're saving my life too, brother. I appreciate that.
Oh, wow, absolutely. And now I can see from my vantage point that you got another question coming in here from Bosa Warner 101, who's asking about the first song you ever made, which is a good transition into a question I'd love to ask you, which is kind of getting the foundation of where Struggle Jennings came from.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about your relationship with rap when you were coming up, and kind of like your relationship with music and how you began to see yourself as a music maker?
Yeah. So my mom was a single mom. You know, she had a thing for bad boys. So we lived in the inner city a lot of times. Even though my grandfather was Waylon, she really had like a strong stance that she didn't want any handouts. So she was determined to get it on her own, make it on her own, which of course left us, you know, in living in lower class areas. And my dad and my dad's side of the family were from the West Side. So rap music is what spoke to me. You know, what we were going through, what my friends were going through, what I was going through. And so I automatically gravitated towards that. As young as I can remember, you know, I would stand in the mirror and rap. And then I started writing my own raps. And then, you know, back then you would get a single and it would have the instrumental on it. So I would just like freestyle to it, and God knows where they're at, but there's probably hundreds of little bitty tapes where I would hit the little tape player and then I would record on the other player. Right?
Oh, really?
Like, as young as like 12, 13.
Oh, wow.
So I think the first song that I actually recorded was a song called I Ain't Biting, which was me and a friend of mine, White Boy Slim. We recorded it. A girl actually bought me 5 hours of studio time for Valentine's Day.
Wow.
And I went in and recorded this collection of songs. And that ended up actually being the song that when I met Jelly, me and Jelly Roll met. He was hosting an event. I was selling CDs on 2nd Avenue, and we met, became friends. That was the first song he heard that he was like, oh man, let me get on that. And then it became an anthem. We started performing that song and got literally banned from performing in Nashville because every time we played that song, a fight would break out.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep. But I think that was the first song that I remember actually recording.
Yeah, wow, that's so cool. And that's so cool to hear, too, that even, like, before you had, like, fully come into yourself as, like, an artist and as somebody you're doing it, you were doing, you know, just writing a lot, as it sounds like.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like you got, like, a really good opportunity to, like, grow that muscle from an early age and kind of learn how to express yourself through rap lyrics.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And through poetry and, you know, just writing, period. Like, my first jail bid that I did when I was in my teens and then into my early 20s, guys would pay me to write poems to their girlfriends to send
really?
out. Yeah.
That's a good business.
Yeah, a couple honey buns.
Oh my gosh, wow. So on that note, tell us a bit about kind of the phase of your life where you did start taking music more seriously as a career and really started pouring yourself into it. I know that you did have some time incarcerated. And yeah, what can you tell us about that? And what can you tell us about what music did to help your life and kind of help shape what it's been since then?
No, for sure. It's completely changed my life. So when I was in my late teens, I was wild. I was in the streets, running crazy. Found out that I had a daughter being born, Brianna, who's my oldest. Kind of chilled out, started trying to do music a little bit, got caught up in a case, went and did 15 months in county jail. While I was in county jail, I was writing poems for people and stuff, and I used to watch this guy named Lil Homie Rip, and he had a record label back then, he had a song on the radio, and I would watch them. They would all sit in a circle and rap at night, right? And I had never told them that I rapped or anything like that. And one night I sat down and I was just on my bunk and I wrote a rap, and I walked over there and started rapping. And he was like, oh man, like I'll give you a record deal when you come out, you know. And so I did that time. I came out and went straight into the studio with him. Nothing really came of it, but I was a single father. I was still facing Fed time. I was fighting a Fed case, and this is in my early 20s. And single father, and I started to just take it seriously. I was like, this is what I want to do in my life. Did it for a couple years. Like me and Jelly met, you know, we were doing free shows and selling CDs out of the trunk and, you know, doing everything that we could to get by, recording every chance we got in our closets. And it wasn't paying the bills, you know. And by this time I've got 3 kids, and I, you know, gave it up, went back into the streets, and you know, for years I had one foot in, one foot out. You know, I was still selling drugs and, you know, being wild and doing stuff. But then I would, you know, take that money and go and record. But I never really committed to it. This last time when I went to prison, I had released Outlaw Shit the day I got locked up. Like I dropped the video that morning and got picked up that day. And so I'm sitting in prison and I'm watching this birth of a new genre and, you know, all this happening from this outlaw shit. And I was just like, you know, this is what I love. This is what I'm going to do with my life. And I don't care what life throws me from here on. This is what I'm going to do. And so 5 years ago, I came home, you know, and hit the ground running and looked back since.
Yeah.
And it changed my life, you know. Like, you know, he said a minute ago, I hear every day that my music changes people's lives and saves their lives. It gets them through addiction, you know, divorces, going back to their families, prison sentences, whatever they're dealing with in life. And, you know, it gives me a sense of purpose. It gives me, you know, a responsibility to not let them down. And, you know, I'm at the height of what I see as being successful. I'm paying the bills. My family's fed. everybody's safe, happy, and healthy, and I'm doing what I love to do.
Yeah. Wow. Well, part of what makes your music so powerful is that thing that we talked about at the very top, is that you embrace a message of hope and a message of redemption and a message of healing, but you do it all through like a extremely honest lens.
Yeah.
And you aren't afraid to kind of tell your story and to tell the hard parts of your story and the difficulties that you faced or that your family's faced and all of that. And so I'm curious about kind of the development of that style of your artistry. Would you say that for as long as you've been writing through the lens of like, I'm really going to just be like my honest self?
Oh, for
or is
sure.
that something that kind of grew and evolved?
Since the beginning of me recording, writing, it's always been truthful and honest. I really adapted that from Waylon, to be honest, because I remember when I was super young and I was telling him I wanted to do music, and he was like, well, just always be honest, be truthful. You put it out there, somebody's gonna feel it. And it's just kind of been my stance the whole time, is like, all the lies and all the stunting and all the, where does that really lead people? Like, let me tell you exactly what I've been through, how I got through it. And, either you may not be going through the same thing, you might be going through something worse or something that is not as bad, but I'm showing you firsthand that you can overcome anything that's in your path, Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a powerful thing. Was there a moment, especially when you got out 5 years ago and you really started doing this hard, was there a moment when you started seeing just how powerful it was and how it was resonating with people, and how, because you are building this amazing community of fans, and like, I don't know if you at home have gotten the chance to go to a Struggle Jennings show, it's amazing. If you haven't gotten the chance, you should, but I have, and when you go, like, I was so amazed and so like filled with awe that it was like your camp, your community, like there's like this whole world of people that it's just like speaking to in such a direct way, and you're providing a voice in a lot of ways. And I know that's something you talk about on Troubadour of Troubled Souls as well. And so what has that been like to kind of come to embrace this new status that you have with having the reach?
Yeah, no, it's been amazing. I mean, to see so many people that are, going through life and going through their struggles and going through pain and heartache, and being able, watching them gravitate towards and be able to utilize my music as healing or hope or strength, it's way more important than the money, or anything else that I could ever gain from it. It's definitely purpose over popularity with me, and watching the community of people that, realizing that they're not alone. We're all going through something. I don't care who you are, the struggle does not discriminate. Like, everybody is going through something in their life that is, weighing heavy on them, and, being able to show them, or them being able to find the strength to carry that weight in my music has been, amazing.
Yeah, and it's beautiful too. How, I mean, would you say that's like an ongoing process as well? Because even with the music that you're putting out now, I mean, it's been 5 years since you got out and you started doing this, but you're still being honest, and it's like an ongoing.
I'm still
process.
going through it, Bubba. Listen, I came home 5 years ago. My kids were in foster care. I was sleeping in my brother's basement. I had an ankle bracelet on. I was on a federal probation, state parole. I'm still on state parole. Since then, I've got custody of all my kids back. We just bought our first house. I'm traveling the world, but I'm still weekly losing friends to drug overdoses. Having to help friends bond out of prison or bond out of jail for mistakes that they're still making. Family members dying or going to jail. Like, I'm still going through, I still have months where it's like waiting on the first to get that check to pay to pay all these invoices. So it's like, I'm still going through it. So the struggle never stops. And I've been blessed that I've been able to still push forward and not lose sight of that, and embrace that enough to where I'm like, bring it on. Like, it doesn't matter what life throws at me, I'm gonna fucking write a song that's gonna help somebody out of it.
Yeah.
Excuse my language. Am I allowed to cuss on here? Okay, cool.
You fucking are. That's amazing. No, that's incredible, and it's such a powerful illustration of what music can be in the best of circumstances. And now, I'm curious too. I know this can be kind of a tricky question too, because sometimes it's just such like a spiritual or innate kind of thing. But put us in your shoes. What is it like when you're writing? Do you write on your own? Do you do notes app? Do you write a lot in the studio?
I write everything in the studio. I mean, like things go through my head all the time, and I might write some notes in my phone. But, when we create a song, we come in, we start from scratch, and I write everything in the song. And asking where it comes from, there's a lot of times when I'll finish writing a verse and I'll go in and record it, and I'm like, where in the fuck did that come from? Like I'm hearing my own punchlines and bars after I've recorded them. Like, damn, did I just say that? Like, so, I definitely feel, I've got a real strong relationship with my higher power. It comes through my music. I've been in the type of situations that you can't not believe that there's God and angels around you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that there's, a dark force as well. So everything that I've been through has gave me my, my foundation with God. And yeah, he gives it to me, man. Like,
And even in that process,
I'm not that fucking clever, I swear.
Well, I'm sure in that process, beyond even amazing yourself, you probably too. I mean, there's got to be a real element of revealing yourself to yourself too.
Oh, for sure.
Sometimes, you say something in a rap and then you go back and listen to it and go, oh, that's how I felt about that.
Yeah.
Or, oh, that's the language I've been searching for all this time.
Yeah, no, for sure. And there's a handful of songs on Troubadour of Troubled Souls that, I cried like a fucking baby writing, and on this next album that I can't wait for y'all to hear. But, I dig deep, and I find the words and the emotions that can say it the best. And if you notice, I try very hard to not cuss. I feel like there's plenty of ways to say things without, I want the kid. There's a lot of teenagers and kids that are going through things too that gravitate towards my music. So, I mean, I say what I have to say when I have to say it, but if I got to get a point across, I'm going to use the word necessary. But
Wow. Well, that's really amazing because you just said that, and I don't know if that's something I ever consciously thought about, but now that I'm hearing you say it, that's so powerful because listening to music, like I've been alluding to this whole time, your music is powerful. And especially, if you're tapped into kind of the things that you're talking about, it really resonates. And I think maybe part of that is that you're using language that's so eloquent and you're kind of, utilizing the full breadth of what your vocabulary can be other than just saying F this, F that, which it is like F this, F that, but you come up with a more creative way to say it. And then it's even more powerful.
I've always been passive aggressive. I like to get slick.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Okay, well, we're gonna go to an ad break in a few minutes, but there's one or two things I want to ask you about first. And one is, you've kind of talked about it this whole time, but it's very clearly a huge part of who you are as a person, who you are as an artist. And I'd love if you could tell us a bit about what it means to you, but family.
Oh, yeah.
I know you got a great saying, family over everything
until everything's gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about the inspiration that your family gives you and kind of the relationship with
Well,
them?
they're everything. My family is everything to me. They're the grounding force that keeps me from losing it. They've been my inspiration. They've been my motivation, my reason so many times. When I went to prison, all the friends, I'm not going to say all because there's a handful that stuck by my side, but 90% of the people in my life disappeared, And I was watching my family become the victims of my decisions, A lot of people think that selling drugs is a victimless crime, which it's completely not, But my children ended up being the biggest victims, They ended up being tossed around, ended up in foster homes. My oldest two ended up without a dad and having to figure out life through their teenage years by themselves. And so that was like my main focus. How can I come out and be a better father? How can I break the cycle from my uncles and all the people in my life that have been in and out of jail and in trouble? And how can I break that and give my kids a better life than I ever had? And it all started with me and me stripping myself down all the way to the roots and figuring out why I was making the decisions I was making, why I felt the anger or the resentment that I felt in my life, and stripping it down, finding it, uprooting it, getting rid of it, And So now coming home, I surround myself with nothing but family. And the people that I do want to be my friends, I make them family, you know? Like, family is, you know, we don't always gotta agree. We might fight at fucking dinner, but we're always gonna be family, you know? And friends come and go. So it's family over everything till everything's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I'm sure it's been great, too, to be able to musically collaborate with your daughter.
Oh, yeah. No, it's been insane. Watching her blossom into the woman and the artist after everything she's been through. Like, you know, she was 12 when I went away. I signed a 13-year sentence on her 13th birthday. So watching her, when, you know, I came home, she was living on her own, going to school, working 2 jobs, and being able to relieve her some of that and give her some of her childhood back. And like she's toured with me all 5 years I've been home, even before she was doing music. And watching her find the love and the passion for music and be able to tell her story, because she's got, you know, the same story but a completely different one than me. So, and watching people resonate, watching young girls and women resonate to her story the way that people do to mine is just, you know, it's been such a blessing.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. Well, we are going to go to an ad break real quick, but we're going to be back. Struggles going to be playing some music live in the studio. And then we're going to be answering more questions. We're going to be answering your questions on the Cat Cam. So stay tuned. We'll be back with more.
What's up, y'all? It's Shooter Jennings. We're about to perform. I got Caitlin Curtis, my guitar player Hayden, about to perform one of our favorite songs that really, really meant a lot to us in the last year. And thank y'all for all the love and support on it. Yeah. The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. Waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate, separate and segregate. Don't celebrate quite yet, the storm is coming. For heaven's sake, violence that they demonstrate, instigate and penetrate. Values of our country and our God is what they desecrate. And fail weight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. Fetus lies manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on these streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour of Troubled Souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the sun.
Oh, one day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, chose it, just neglected. Deflected by some breaking news, oh, we just accepted. Expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objective, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome my position, or I'm gonna start resisting. Then I'll pray for forgiveness.
One day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh, God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. You'll not be far away or too far gone. I hope you see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh, God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know God heard that.
Hello and welcome back to Off the Record Live. I'm Joe Vito and we're still here with the amazing Struggle Jennings, who just played a fantastic song for us. I really appreciate that. And I'd love to talk about that tune in a
I
second.
think I'm gonna starting my day by calling you.
Hell yeah!
Your energy is infectious, man. I need that in my life every morning, man.
Good morning, Struggle. I'll record an alarm for you. It'll be
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. And the folks at home are clearly appreciating our energy as well, because they've been watching and sending in some amazing, beautiful messages
I've
throughout
been
the
watching
song.
these. Yeah, these comments have been just.
Yeah, what you don't know is that we have a little screen, so we can see what you're saying over there.
Happy
Catherine's not the only
birthday,
one.
happy birthday, M. Giles 85. Hope you have a blessed, wonderful day.
Hell yeah, me too. I also hope that. Happy birthday. And now we are gonna go though to the cat cam and get some questions that have been coming in for us.
Let's get it.
The chat is popping off, as I'm sure you'll have seen, but I'm Sith Lord's son wants to know, what is your favorite song that you've ever made?
That's y'all haven't heard him yet.
Oh, that's a great answer.
Yeah, I hate to say that, but it's like that's one of the biggest problems that me and my camp, Angels and Outlaws, all of us, we have is we go in and we think we have an album done, and then we're like, oh, let's write another song today, and they just keep getting better and better and better, and then we don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, so y'all haven't heard it. I've got a handful of incredible songs that are probably some of the most heartfelt. And this crazy part is most of the ones that are like the most meaningful to me aren't the ones the fans really catch on to. Like off of Widow's Son, Follow It Home. It's probably like my least streamed song, but I had that. I wrote that hook with the girl that's on it probably 3 years before I recorded it and could not write the verses. I was so emotional about it.
Really?
Because I was like fighting for custody for my kids, for my little girls. And every time I would even try to write that song, I would just like break down in emotions. And yeah, it flew over their head. Thanks. Nah, but just stay tuned because I think some of my favorite songs I've ever recorded are definitely on these next albums.
That's an extremely exciting thing for someone with your catalog to say.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, yeah.
so cool. Oh my gosh. Do we have more, Catherine?
We do. We have a lot more. But another one I'm going to ask is from Boss A Warner 101, who wants to know, will you or when will you and Jelly be doing another collaboration?
2022 probably. We're definitely doing a tour. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this, but it's supposed to be me, Jelly, and Yelawolf, like 15 to 20 dates. Ooh. 2022. So we're making that happen now. You know, Jelly, so proud of him. He's crushing it right now. So as soon as he can find time or, you know, get a little break from soaring in the clouds. Yeah. I talked to him yesterday. I talked to him yesterday, and he said, "Bubba, all I want for my birthday is just like, because his birthday just passed. He said, I just want 5 hours where me and you just get in the car and just be friends. Like, fuck all the music shit, fuck all the other business. Like, let's just drive really far and get lunch." So I'm excited about that.
That's amazing. Well, we love Jelly Roll here. Jelly Roll has been a guest on Off the Record Live in the past, which you at home can find on YouTube after this broadcast.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to have to go check that out. He told me, he said it was really cool. He did it.
Oh,
So,
yeah. It was great. We got to talk all sorts of Jelly Roll. We got Jelly Roll history in there. It was awesome. We talked a lot about weed.
Yeah,
Naturally.
yeah, of course.
We learned all the ins and outs of his preferred methods and like dream joint rotation. We had a whole weed conversation. It was fantastic. Willie. Waylon Willie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
Do you have any more, Catherine?
We can ask another one. We've got one from Rodeo Joe 702, who wants to know, how does it feel to be where you are today after you've come so far and helped so many along the way?
Yeah, I mean, I can't even answer that question with a word or even a statement. It's definitely the most fulfilling feeling that you could possibly think about, you know, even ever getting to experience. You know, I never gave up hope. There was many times where I was on the brink of it, and I just always saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't know where it was leading me. You know, I know a lot of people have like goals. I've never really had goals. I just had dreams. I knew what I wanted to do, and I just kept moving forward. And I say it all the time, faith and hard work is all it takes. You know, like regardless what you're going through, regardless what's in front of you, if you just keep moving forward and keep believing in yourself and believing that it's possible, it'll happen. And so for me to be able to show people that that's really fucking possible, that you can, regardless what you've been through, regardless what you're going through, it is possible to get wherever you want to be and to actually go way past it. Because right now I'm farther than I ever really, in my own crazy mind full of doubts and insecurities, I'm farther than I ever thought I would be. And it's just, it keeps going up every year. We look at it and it's climbing. So faith and hard work. And yeah, to answer your question, it's been so amazing, and I couldn't have done it without everybody that's on this live stream, everybody that streams my music, shows up every night, you know, to the shows. I'd be a guy standing on an empty stage or, you know, a microphone screaming at the wall. And they've gave me purpose and gave me something to really, you know, continue to feel part of myself, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
They give me that community.
Yeah, I was literally right about to say, it's so beautiful because you do foster that sense of community, which is such a powerful, powerful thing, especially when so many things in our world today are the opposite of that, and they're kind of anti-community, and they kind of, you know, push a specific type of toxic individualism that goes against community. To have something like that is so powerful.
And real quick, shouts out to Fangirl and Jen. They're on here. They've been on here commenting the whole time. They run the street team, and they're crazy as hell, but I love them to death, and they keep everybody in line. Shouts out to them, for sure.
That's a great description. To be described in that way by Struggle Jennings would be an amazing thing.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you just performed for us God, We Need You Now, which is such a beautiful song. It's so powerful. And I know that you talked a little bit about what it means to you. I'm wondering if you could tell us a bit about the story behind it, like when you made it, or even how you came to start collaborating with Caitlin. I'm so sorry. I just forgot your name. Oh, no. Beautiful performance. It's so incredible. I had goosebumps on my arm. It was absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah, so I actually I met Caitlin at DJ Paul's birthday party a few years ago. And she had tagged me in a picture. I went to her page to see who she was, and she was doing cover videos. And I was like, oh my God, this girl has a fucking incredible voice. So I immediately messaged her and was like, hey, I want to record an album on you. As soon as I can get the budget to start a label, I want to sign you. And she was like, yeah, cool, like, let's do it. And then for 2 years, I like sat there with my fingers crossed, like saying, you know, please nobody sign her. And luckily, as soon as I got the budget, I hit her up and we did a song called Nashville Strong when the tornadoes hit. And, you know, we wrote well together. We're powerhouse when it comes to writing and recording music and creating. And she's, you know, unmatchable when it comes to talent and work ethic and drive. So she actually, with God We Need You Now, you know, 2020's happening. We're in the studio still working, and I'm ranting every day about everything that's going on in the world, you know, like on my phone, like, what the fuck? And she sends me this hook. She's like, hey, you know, I was listening to you the other day, and this hook came to my mind or heart or whatever, and she sent me this hook, and I just immediately knew. I was like, oh man, this is big. So we went in the studio, and, you know, a couple weeks later, it was like, hey, let's pull that hook up that you did. And it was just a voice note. And we created it that day. We had Peter Keys was in there with us, and Mike Hartnett, and some amazing players. And of course, Scatterbrains, who's my DJ and producer and right-hand man. And we did the song, shot the video. You know, it meant so much to us. It was so powerful. It did good. But then, you know, it kind of tapered off. And then 9 months later, it just took flight. And she worked it super tough on TikTok. She's got a crazy TikTok. Y'all go check it out. But she worked it super hard on TikTok. And the sound had went viral on TikTok with all these people that were, you know, whether it was like the religious wars, you know, or the spiritual battle or the political stuff. And it got legs and ran. And here we are.
Yeah.
2 weeks on #1 on Billboard, independent, with, you know, no budget. We didn't put $1 behind it in promotional marketing, you know, all because of the people. And, you know, something they needed to hear, something they latched onto, and something that they screamed at the top of their lungs.
Yes, absolutely. It has such an anthemic quality to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, it has that ability where, yeah, if you're tapped into that kind of stuff, it just speaks to it in such a powerful way that it is so inspiring.
And then we backed it up with Cries of the Crusaders, and it's...
Yes, which I wanted to ask you about that one, too.
I'm watching it. The analytics on it are better than God We Need You Now was at first.
All right.
Of course, so we'll see if it goes to the same place. I mean, it's... Anybody who feels we're in a spiritual war right now, they definitely... that should be their battle cry right now.
Yeah, yeah. What can you tell us about how that one kind of came together?
Again, in the studio writing, and you know, we're listening to a beat. Actually, the track that we wrote it to was like a throwaway beat that Scat had from like 2 years ago, and we were just going through beats trying to find something, and she started writing that hook, and then we kind of moved on it. And when I left the studio, it was just playing in my head. I could just hear it. That I put my armor on, and it was just going. And so I finally hit her and was like, hey, you got to lay that hook down. We got to do this. And, you know, wrote my verses and did it and shot the video. And it, like I said, like right now, that's my battle cry, that's my anthem.
Yeah, well, that's got to be, I mean, as a songwriter, that's one of the best feelings in the world is when you tap onto something that has a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can't even choose to not make this. I got to make it. It's going to be so powerful.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, I know a lot of people out there clickbaiting and they're doing music, riding this wave and trying to, but every bit of the music, that we're not going to ever do that. You know, I refuse. If something even sounds corny to me, we're not putting it out, period. Like, it's going to be all honesty, what we're feeling, how we're feeling, and what we believe in and stand on.
Yeah, it's so palpable, that
Yeah.
philosophy. It's amazing. I love that. Wow. Well, you have kind of mentioned that you've been on the road this year, kind of touring. I want to
3 tours.
Yeah, which is incredible. And like I said, I saw online. It's fantastic. If you haven't gotten the chance, you need to. It's such like an exciting and dynamic show. But what can you tell us about the live show and what it's been like to be able to like bring these songs to people and connect
It's
them that
incredible.
way?
And like the players that I have, you know, the crew that I have is unmatched. So like our live show, you know, is there's not many out there touching it, you know. And it's been amazing. We've done 3 tours this year. We just came off of 45 days being out. We did 25 shows with Tommy Vexed from the Bad Wolves. And I mean, you know, the touring for us isn't the most profitable as compared to like what we do streaming and stuff, but it's getting out there and getting to touch those fans and be able to, you know, perform in front of them and give them that hope and that same strength that we get to give them through our music face to face, look them in the eye and tell our story. So, and we get to travel the world and eat
Regionally.
eat the greatest food, and you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's so beautiful. That's so amazing. Wow. Well, we are just about out of time. We're nearly at the hour mark, and I got one last question for you today, which is, you've had such a great year. You're making so many amazing things. What's the future look like for Shooter Jennings?
The same thing that happened this year times 10.
Oh, 10! Yes!
Times 10 every year. We're turning it up 10 notches every year.
Exponential growth.
Yeah, like, to be honest, I was just telling my team, I was like, look, over this next, you know, couple weeks we have left in this year, we're going to do something we've never done, and we're going to plan out the first 6 months. Right? Because we literally, the distribution company and my whole team, like, hates me sometimes because I'll be like, hey, here's this song and a video, we're going to release it tomorrow. And they're like, what? Like, give us a couple weeks. I'm like, no, I want it released tomorrow. So I've not ever really been good at planning. We just create and give it to them. So this year we've got some planning to go. We got some huge collaborations that we're doing, some different business stuff. We've got a cigar and a tequila and a bunch of stuff that I'm working on. So yeah, just stay tuned.
Hell yes. I will be very staying tuned so I can drink and smoke struggle style.
Oh, yeah. That's the best. It's the best. Also, look out. We got Caitlin's new album. My daughter Brianna's new album's coming. We just released the first single off of my rock artist, J.D. Hudgens. Psh, bro. 2022, if not 2022, y'all are hearing this from me right now, 2022 or early 2023, Angels and Outlaws will be dropping 5 albums in 5 genres within 1 month, and we're going to chart on all 5 genres.
You heard it here, folks.
Period.
That's amazing.
I've got the best. I've got the best artists in every genre that we drop in. Nobody can tell me different.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
For stopping by and sharing part of your story with us. This has been absolutely incredible. And I want to thank all of you at home for tuning in and making this the amazing stream has been. We've been looking at this, you know, I've talked about your community. You have this whole ethos around you, and you brought your community on digitally to our studio here. And so it's been so amazing. And so thank you for stopping by. Thank you, Starstruck Entertainment, for being our host in the brick and mortar. Thank you to Neon Media, American Songwriter, and Twitch for being our host in the digital sphere. Thank you, Struggle. Thank you, Caitlin Curtis, who has an amazing voice. Absolutely incredible. One of the best live performances I've heard. Thank you, Hayden, the guitar player, for coming through.
Yeah. He did all right. We're going to keep him a little longer.
Thank you all. I'm Joe Vito for American Songwriter. Good night. I love you.